Oh, is it that time? Must be mobility class time. I was just organizing the toilet paper there. Hi guys, my name's Miles and I'm an athletic therapist with 360 Fit. If you haven't taken one of my classes before, usually we start with some soft tissue mobilization techniques. Today we're going to start pretty basic. I'm hoping that most of you at home have at least a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball. If you're new to the soft tissue manipulation, I recommend something a little bit softer like a tennis ball. I'm going to be using the lacrosse ball today. So today we're going to be focusing on the upper body, a little bit more of the shoulders. I know everybody's a little uptight, a little anxious. Shoulders up by their ears with everything that's going on with COVID-19. I can't recommend it enough that you breathe, you stay on top of it, you still do some sort of movement or movement practice to strengthen not only strengthen the immune system, but make sure that your body is able to handle the COVID if you do happen to get it. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take the lacrosse ball. You're going to place the lacrosse ball between the bone on your back, your scapula, and your spine. So we want to make sure it's on the tissue and not on the bone. So you're going to come right in this position. It could be lower or higher, right between your scapula and your vertebrae. You're going to find a wall. You're going to place the ball against your back and the wall. And we're just kind of rolling around until we kind of find, just getting a feel for that tissue. And we want to spend probably about 2 to 3 minutes kind of on each side and really spend some time getting into those tender points. If you find a real tender point, what we can do what's called active release, where we're basically going to take the arm overhead, put a little bit more pressure into that tender spot, and then you're going to draw your arm across almost like you're putting your seatbelt on, that same similar motion, right? And once you've done that about 5 passes, kind of roll up and down until you find a new spot. Ooh, I'm really tender there, so I'm just gonna start bringing that arm down across. Okay? Once you've done that side, switch over to the other side. And again, rolling up and down, finding a couple pieces. Oh, tender there, so I'm gonna do about 5 passes across. Starting to feel a little bit of a change in the movement of my shoulder. Next one. This one, we're just going to take our hands. You can do this standing, or you can come into a kneeling position, and you're basically going to place the ball right on your pec here. Make sure we're not right on that acromion process or that bone right there, and we're just going to be rolling around. Spend about 20-30 seconds rolling around, just loosening up that tissue, warming it up, and then switch sides. Make sure we're going in both directions, going counterclockwise and clockwise. If you want to pause the video here, feel free, and you can do a little bit more specific work into that. That's just some basic. Now what we're going to do is, if you have a belt at home, could be just a closed belt, a rope, something along those lines. We're going to grab that, and then what we're going to do with the belt is we're just going to grab the belt out front, and we're going to keep tension on that belt the whole time. Okay, so you're just pulling out away from your body. You're maintaining that tension throughout, and you're just bringing those arms up and over your head, moving back and forth. We're going to do about 15 times. Get as close as you can on that belt without having to bend at the elbows. So I was a little too close there. And we don't want our chin poking forward. We want to keep our chin tucked in, right? Our ears over top of our shoulders. You might get a lot of clicking and cracking. That's completely normal as long as you don't have any pain. So next, we're going to take the band out in front of us, and we're going to do what's called scapular cars, or controlled articular range of motion. So we barely ever use full range of motions in our scapula, and this is a reason why we have a lot of shoulder pain. So you're going to bring your arms out in front, probably about 30 degrees from the shoulder, right, on that angle on each side. And what you're going to do is you're going to create tension throughout your whole body. So bring your belly button in towards your spine, and then keep your chin tucked, ears over top of your shoulders, and then you're going to punch forward, right? And then you're going to shrug up by your ears, retract or bring your shoulders back, and then down. So basically you're making a box with your shoulder. So you're making that bottom of the box by punching out. You're still punching out. You're making that side of the box by shrugging up by your ears. And then you're making the top of the box by bringing your shoulders back and keeping them up. And then you're coming down, making the back of the box, right? So we're going to do about 5 of those. They're harder than they look. And then we're going to switch directions. So back, up, out, down, back, up, out, down. Okay? So once you've done about 5 on each side, next we're going to work a little bit on our neck. So what I want you to do is you're basically going to just tuck your chin in, keeping the ears over top of the shoulders, and keeping that chin tucked in. You're going to bring your left ear to your left shoulder, and then you're going to rotate down over to the other side. Now we're not going all the way around, we're just coming over to the other side and rotating back. Okay? And again, creating tension in the rest of our body so that we're just focusing on that neck and keeping that chin tucked in. Okay? And from there, we're going to hug ourselves, and when we're in that position, we're going to draw our rib cage down by breathing out, engaging our core, pulling our belly button in towards our spine, and then we don't want to round through the low back, just the upper back, and we're going to bend to the side, rotate forward, and we're going all the way around this time, keeping that core engaged so that our low back isn't doing any of the movement. And switch directions. Okay. All right, good. So we should feel warmed up, nice and loose. Okay, now for the first circuit. The first move we're going to do in our circuit is we're going to do a downward dog scat press. So you're going to come onto all fours, and from here you're going to come up onto your toes, pushing your butt up. Now, your knees can be bent. They don't need to be straight out. If you feel like you're rounding through your low back, then just bend the knees a little bit. So now you're kind of in this position. Wrists should be in line with the shoulders, not under the shoulders. And what we're going to do is we're basically just shrugging our shoulders up by our ears, and then relax. Shrug up by our ears and relax. Shrug up by your ears and relax. And we're doing that 10 times. So this is a great exercise for just getting the scapula moving and strengthened. If you can't do that, because it honestly is a pretty difficult exercise, you're basically just going to come down into a push-up position, and you're going to push yourself back, push that butt up. So you're coming down in onto your stomach and push back, and then roll up. Down, push back, roll up. Okay? And you're going to do 10 of those. Okay? So then the next one, we're going to do lying tees. So you're just going to lay on your stomach. You're going to pull your belly button in towards your spine, and you're going to squeeze your butt, and then from here, and tuck your feet under. And then from here, we're going to bring our shoulders out of our ears, thumbs up towards the ceiling, and we're going to pinch our shoulders together as we lift up off the floor. So you're holding 1, 2, back down. 1, 2, back down. Okay? And we're doing 15 of those. All right, and then the last in our circuit is we're going to do some prone snow angels, which is a very difficult exercise. But works on our shoulder mobility and strength. So you're again in this position, pulling the belly button in, squeezing the glutes, tucking the feet under. And then what we're going to do is start with our hands on top of our head, forehead on the floor. You're going to lift your elbows up. The key to this exercise is to keep your elbows up the whole. We're going to down towards our butt, keeping them up nice and high, and then we're going to rotate our hands in, keeping those elbows up until our back of our hands are right over top of the small of our back, but not on it. And then we're going to keep those elbows up, reach the arms out to the side, and repeat. Okay, and we're doing 10 of those. So I'm gonna set a timer here for 6 minutes, or you can set a timer and just pause the video, and you're gonna repeat 10, 15, 10 of those 3 exercises until that 6 minutes is up. All right, for the last circuit here, we're going to do a wall sit with shoulder abduction. So you're going to come into a wall sit, make sure those knees are in line with the second toe, low back's touching the wall, back of your head's against the wall, and your chin's tucked. Keep your shoulders out of your ears for this exercise, and you're just going to lift the weights, thumbs up towards the ceiling, right up to shoulder height. And we're doing 15 of these. Now, I know at home you might not have any weights, so feel free just to use some soup cans, even though you might not have any, because the guy at Sobeys, I'm pretty sure he bought out Sobeys of all their soup, because he bought about $300 worth of soup. That was a little excessive, but he must be planning to work out a lot with those soup cans. Right, so next we're going to do some bird dog flies. So again, take your soup can, if you have some, and you're going to come into bird dog position. So shoulders or wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath your hips, toes tucked under. And what we're going to do is we're going to extend right hand, you're going to extend the opposite side. So left side back, keeping the toes towards your shin, and heel driving back towards that back wall, squeezing that glute, keeping that core engaged, and then you're going to lift out to the side, trying to get that thumb slightly up towards the ceiling. And again, we're going to do 15 on each side. All right, and now for the last exercise, what we're going to do is you're going to lay on your back. You're going to keep neutral core, or keep your core engaged. And what we're going to do is we're going to actively push our knees up into our hands, keep our chin tucked, and slightly lifted off the floor, and we're actively pushing, and we're holding for the count of 30. Okay? Those 3 exercises, again, for the 6 minutes. All right, now for our stretch series. So what you're going to do is we're going to do what's called prone cactus arm stretch, which is for that anterior capsule that we tend to get really tight in because we're always at a desk, or we're stressed out because of coronavirus, so we're always in this position. So we're going to stretch that out for you. So what we're going to do is you're going to face the wall. You're going to bring your elbow up and make a T, and bring your arm or palm back towards the back wall. Okay? We call this internal rotation. You're going to place the back of your hand on the wall, get your elbow on the wall and shoulder on the wall. If you can't do that, then just lower your elbow a little bit. And then you're going to use your other hand to kind of push off and rotate away from the wall until you feel a deep stretch inside the shoulder. We're going to oscillate in this position for about 20 seconds, just small oscillations. You're pushing this back hand into the wall. And then for the last 20 seconds, you're just going to hold that stretch. And then you're going to pause and repeat on the other side. Okay, so next one, you're going to find, again, a piece of real estate on the wall, and we're going to do what's called prayer stretch for your lats, which is also internal rotator of the shoulder. So if we can release some of that internal stress, we're going to be helping you out here. So basically, you're going to place your hands in a position, a prayer prayer position, and basically your forearms up to your wrist are going to be on the wall. And from there, so we're placing these on the wall, and then I want to keep your feet underneath your shoulders, a distance from the wall, and then you're going to push your butt and bend your knees back away from the wall until you feel a stretch in the lats. And again, we're using our legs to oscillate in this position for about 20 seconds, and then we're just holding the stretch and breathing. So we're going to really focus on those lats today, and then we're also going to add a little bit of TFL or on that right leg by coming into a lunge position. Again, we want the pressure not right on our knee, but on kind of the front of our knee here, and we're going to lean forward until we feel a stretch in that quadricep or hip flexor. And then what we're going to do, we're about a foot away from the wall. We're going to place our hand, reach as high up the wall as we can, that inside hand, and then we're going to lean into the wall until we feel a deep stretch inside that hip flexor and in that lat. And we're just going to hang out here, oscillating in and out for about 20 seconds, and then we're going to hold for 20 seconds. And then we're going to come over to the other side, same thing. You're setting up outside foot forward, squeezing that back glute until you feel that stretch in the hip flexor, and then you're going to reach up the wall with that inside hand and lean into it and oscillate. Oh yeah, that feels great. Make sure you're not too far from the wall. I might be a little bit far from the wall there, just about a foot. All right. On standing, I'll just come down into a kneeling position. It's a little bit easier for the camera to see. You're going to take your right hand, reach behind your back so it's on the other side. You're going to interlock your arms here, and then what you're going to do is tuck your chin and just lean away from that shoulder until you feel a stretch in the neck. And we're just doing some mini oscillations here for, again, 20 seconds, and then we're just going to hang out and breathe for 20 seconds. Then we're going to switch sides, take that left hand. Again, don't be afraid to pause at any point if you need to hold a little bit longer. So we're coming into that position again, and then we're leaning, tuck the chin, and leaning away until we feel a stretch in the neck, and oscillating again. Right? If you ever seen that scene in Night of the Roxbury, you know what I'm talking about. Getting into that oscillation in the neck, and then just relaxing. All right, guys, that's it for mobility class today. I can't guarantee that I'm going to have another one out for the next couple days, but I'll try to at least get one out once a week, depending on how COVID-19 goes. Feel free to replay this. If this is your first time doing one of my classes, enjoy, and I look forward to you signing up to do my mobility classes where I can actually get into some real good detail and really fix you up. All right, guys, be safe out there. Miles out.